A very good evening to you. We're live tonight at Manchester Cathedral, where earlier today the city said goodbye to one of its sporting heroes. Just a few hours ago, fans at the Etihad Stadium chanted, "There's only one Ricky Hatton," as they remembered one of Manchester City Football Club's most famous supporters.
Yeah, he was larger than life, yet always down to earth. Hatton was a world champion boxer multiple times over. He was also an ambassador for mental health charities and a Manchester-based organisation supporting homeless and vulnerable people. He was found dead at his home last month at the age of 46.
I'm sure it will come as no surprise to learn that Manchester Cathedral was packed out for his funeral earlier. 900 guests filled the church to hear stories about the boxer's eventful and often colourful life.
Yeah, there were well-known faces from the world of sport, from showbiz, even politics, and they joined Ricky's family and friends to remember the man they called the Pride of Hyde.
During the service, Ricky's 3 children gave moving eulogies to their dad, and there was even a bit of showbiz thrown in there too.
Chris Hall reports on the final goodbye to a boxing icon.
How will you be remembering Ricky Hatton today?
Obviously, he was a great champion and a great person, not only inside the ring but outside the ring as well.
You have to look around at all the people to see what he's like as a person. Everyone's come out for him, and it's brought Manchester to a standstill. And there's a lot of love and a lot of positivity.
I was, one of them who looked up to him for how his aggressive style, how friendly he was, how down to earth he was, and how much the people loved him.
He was a great ambassador for this, and one of the best champions. You know what I mean? And what more can you ask for? You know what I mean?
He was a special friend, a special fighter, a special person, and a credit to Manchester and the UK.
Richard was a great son of this city, champion boxer, who inspired the lives of thousands of people. I myself have personally enjoyed watching his boxing on the television.
Richard was not good enough to play for his beloved Manchester City. He was an absolutely shocking carpet fitter. But boy, could he fight.
You are known as Ricky Hatton in the ring, but I have only seen you as my dad even in the ring. I am so proud of you, words can't express.
You are seriously the funniest person I've ever come across, and I am lucky enough to call you my dad.
Always laughing, always joking, and absolutely ripping into everybody with no hesitation or filter. But that was him, and that's why we loved him.
Everything and kept his feet on the floor, and yeah, it's such a sad, emotional service that was today.
And I've watched thousands of fighters train over the years, hundreds, thousands, and after watching him, it's the only fight I've ever been thought of, and I've been in awe of him and thought that's the standard.
Inspired a generation. I think every young, not even just every young man kid, I think every young kid who was in a gym at the time wanted to be like Ricky Hatton, whether it's copy his style, his shorts, whichever it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was such a fitting but really emotional service there, and Ricky Hatton's family wanted his fans to turn out for his final journey, and turn out they did.
The boxer was famous for his down-to-earth nature, sticking true to his humble roots. Never tempted to move to the bright lights of London, it was Hyde where he stayed, often chatting with locals over a pint in one of the town's pubs, and where his gym's doors were always open for passers-by to catch a glimpse of the hitman himself.
Well, in his hometown, thousands of people lined the streets as he began his final journey. Our correspondent Anne O'Connor reports on the huge outpouring of love for the people's champion.
The painting on the pub where Ricky Hatton grew up shows how Hyde and the hitman went hand in hand. If Manchester had 10 cathedrals, they wouldn't seat the sheer number wanting to say goodbye. So instead they lined the streets where he was worshipped.
The king wouldn't have got this turnout, would he?
His last journey was a 15-mile, 2-hour trip round landmarks of a legend's career, starting where it sadly ended, round the corner from his house in G Cross. They put the flags out for a cortege headed with humour, the hitman's replica three-wheeler from comedy Only Fools and Horses. At the Hare Hill Tavern in Hattersley, where he grew up and spent many a happy hour sporting the bruises of a win in the ring, there is still disbelief.
Love you, Ricky!
It's all peace, finds peace, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned.
Like I say, Ricky Hatton has done a lot for the estate. He's put Hattersley back on the map, and you can see by the support he's got, because he's a sorry time for us all.
Legend, no one's ever going to forget Ricky Hatton.
Legend. Brilliant.
Ricky Hatton's parents set up a gym in the pub they ran, the New Inn, now converted into flats. As Ricky returned, they released doves in memory of a high flyer whose talent took him round the globe, always winging his way back to his roots. At Ricky's gym, where he spent hours training himself and other young hopefuls, his Manchester City sky blue coffin passed by. A chance to get close to the champ one last time.
Very emotional, yeah. We were saying on the way down, you know, for a period of 5 or 6 years, we were down at the arena every 3 or 4 times a year watching him fight.
I stayed up to watch his fight against Mayweather and all the other ones in Vegas, and ever since then he just gripped me.
Yeah, I've travelled from Essex up to here. It's not the same as travelling across to America, but obviously you travel wherever to see the man as a legend, what he was, pay your respects. He's just such a lovely guy.
And then on to Denton and the gym where it all started, formerly the Phoenix, where anyone could walk in any time and witness the rise of a world beater. So many here remember his fights at Manchester's arena. Today, it was the last landmark on the way to his funeral. A last chance to pay tribute, wherever you're from.
Oh, hero. You know, top boxer, top guy, all-round good bloke, Manchester legend. You know, he's boxing probably won't be the same again. I don't know if Manchester may never have anything like that ever again, you know.
Yeah, the boxing great, but also his character, he brought a lot of people together.
So Ricky Hatton may be gone, but remaining is what his idol Elvis and his fans would call the wonder of you.
Yeah, it's clear he meant so much to so many. Well, one of those invited to the service today was Jane Couch. The former world champion boxer from Fleetwood in Lancashire has known Ricky for a really long time.
As well as recently getting inducted together into the Boxing Hall of Fame in the United States, Ricky was supportive of Jane's battle to legalise women's boxing back in the 90s. I met up with her earlier to get her reflections on the hitman on this saddest of all days.
It's just like a big wave of emotion. I still can't believe he's gone. Just seeing everybody in the church, they've come from all over the country, some have come from abroad, and I just hope he can I just hope he can see how much he was loved, because look at this turnout. It's just like unbelievable. I don't think any sportsman would get that sort of turnout that Ricky had today, and I think now the funeral's over, we have to be there for his family and his kids, and we have to celebrate his life, because Ricky lived more life in 46 years than we'd probably live in 200. He just loved life, and he just meant so much. He was everybody's best friend.
What can you tell us about the last time you saw Ricky?
So we did the Hall of Fame together last year, and yeah, I mean, he seemed a bit different, but not anything he would let you know too much. But I think he was just struggling with, look, you can have all the fame and fortune in the world, but if you're not all right, it doesn't matter. It's just materialistic stuff. You can have all the money and all the fame in the world, and it means nothing.
How will Ricky Hatton be remembered?
He'd be remembered as just, I don't know, he's an icon. He's a legend. He's just, and yet he's one of us. He's the same as me and you. He's just because of the fame and the money. He wasn't big-headed. He was just a lovely boy next door, and just the best person you could ever know.
He was there for you as a friend, but professionally he was there for you too, supporting your career.
Of course, yeah. So when women first started boxing a long time ago, it was very difficult, and Ricky could see the struggles that I was going through, but was always there, was always supporting me to carry on, and through the difficult times he was, come on Jane, you can do it. And just like the champion he was, you know, he made me have that champion mindset just by having that support. And it's just one in a million. Like I said, it just doesn't seem real, even to the people that have just met him for a few minutes or just met him for a photograph. He makes you feel just special man.
Everybody tells us about what a down-to-earth guy he was.
You could only know Ricky 2 minutes or a minute and you feel like you've known him forever, and he'd always put you at ease, and nothing like, he was not like a celebrity. You know, he was just Ricky. You've just got to think about his family and his kids and his brother Matthew, and it's just heartbreaking. If we feel like this, you know, how must that family be feeling? It's just heartbreaking. But like I said, we have to celebrate his life, because that's what Ricky would have wanted.
How are you right now?
Yeah, I'm sad, but you've just somehow got to find the strength to carry on, haven't you? Take your strength from other people, like his family. Just try and be strong for them. But the whole boxing world's here today, and just fantastic tribute to a fantastic man.
Yeah, very sad day. Jane Couch there speaking to me a little earlier today.
Well, we'll be back with more memories of Ricky Hatton in a little while, but now it's over to Vicky in the studio for a brief roundup of the rest of the day's news.
Thanks very much, Katie. A very good evening to you from all of us here at Media City. A Liverpool man is facing 100 charges as part of an ongoing investigation into child sex offences. Merseyside police say Dylan Matthews, who's 20 and from Elmcroft Close in Walton, was already in custody when he was charged with an additional 79 offences relating to multiple victims. He'll appear before Liverpool Crown Court on Tuesday. The parents of a 3-year-old boy who was killed by a dog in Rochdale have been jailed. Daniel Twigg died in May 2022 after he was attacked by a cane corso, that's a breed of mastiff. His parents, Joanne Bedford and Mark Twigg, were cleared of manslaughter but later convicted under the Dangerous Dogs Act. Bedford was jailed for 3 years and 6 months, Twigg for 2 years and 8 months. Both are also disqualified from keeping dogs for 15 years. Now, the North West is receiving millions of pounds worth of funding to try and reduce homelessness in the region this World Homelessness Day. £8.2 million has been allocated to help provide sustainable accommodation, drug and alcohol treatment and mental health support. A bus strike on Manchester's B network's been suspended as workers vote on a new pay deal. Almost 2,000 drivers have been due to walk out from today. The Unite unions called off the action after Metroline and Stagecoach came back with a new pay offer. But it's warning that further strikes may still take place later this month, depending on the outcome of the ballot. A Manchester University professor is part of a team of scientists who've identified a new species of dinosaur. Dr. Dean Lomax says the rare species, which they've named a sword dragon because of its long nose, is probably the world's most complete prehistoric reptile from the early Jurassic period. But of course, our main news tonight is the tens of thousands of people who've turned out to pay their respects to Ricky Hatton. And that story also makes the ITV Evening News headlines. Here's Lucrezia with details of what's coming up at 6:30.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, a ceasefire begins in Gaza. As Israeli troops pull back, Palestinians start returning to their homes in the north. A deal was signed late last night. Within days, all hostages should be released. Also, the Pride of Hyde's final journey through Manchester. Thousands line the streets as boxer Ricky Hatton is laid to rest. And the Moody Blues singer and bass guitarist John Lodge has died, aged 82. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Well, that's it from us in the studio. It's back over to Gamal and Katie at Manchester Cathedral.
Vicky, many thanks indeed. Well, hello again. And we've heard so many moving tributes to Ricky Hatton, not just today, but in the weeks since the news of his death broke.
Yeah, we're now going to hear from a young man who was here today, who lays claim to being the hitman's biggest fan.
Some of you may remember James Bowes. He and Ricky struck up a friendship more than 25 years ago.
Yeah, James, who was seriously ill with water on the brain, became Ricky's mascot on those big fight nights in Manchester. And he's been speaking to Michael.
That's a jacket with Hitman on.
It was the most beautiful of friendships. James Bowes was just 10 years old when he first walked into Ricky Hatton's gym. The champ immediately took him under his wing, and it wasn't long before young James was part of the team.
Well, as soon as I knew I could go to the fights, it just made my day, and as soon as we got in the arenas, my face was like, where am I? It just made me day with all the crowd. And
he took you on the adventure, didn't he?
Yeah, it just really got me excited about it.
You became almost,
mascot,
I was going to say, a lucky mascot, weren't you?
His lucky mascot, yeah. Everybody else around the world who actually would want to be his mascot didn't have the chance like I did. So I was the very, very lucky person to be his mascot, and I'm really, really glad about that.
James was born with water on the brain and has epilepsy. It meant he couldn't travel when Ricky hit the big time in the USA.
Even when I get in that ring in Boston, I'm sure I'll be able to hear him shouting all the way back from Manchester.
Give him that. I'll give him one. Give him that, Rick. Yeah. Do that to him. Yeah. I'll give you the ring as soon as I've boxed, mate. Yeah.
The hitman would even send messages on his travels.
As soon as I've won them belts, I'll give you a call and have a chat with you.
James, there's some incredible memorabilia on the walls here. Talk us through some of it.
There's really, really nice Ricky Hatton, pictures like, that's my mate Ricky, that's me.
And I notice the autograph says, to my mate James, my number one fan.
Which I am.
You always were, weren't you?
Yeah, and I always will be his number one fan.
Now look at this photo here. Tell me about this day.
Oh yeah.
It looks like you've just knocked him out. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's like thinking of knocked him out.
As Ricky became a superstar of world boxing and made some high-profile new friends, James remained his number one.
We haven't forgot him. You all know him. Give it up for my little friend James Bowes here, please. Very brave little lad.
In 2009, another special moment as James received the all-clear to travel to Las Vegas, with Ricky paying for his trip.
As soon as I got told I was allowed to go, I was just really excited.
James grew up on the council estate like I did, Hattersley Council Estate. I'm sure little James never thought he would ever see the lights of Las Vegas, and he certainly is a dream come true in many ways.
But it's the good times in Manchester James will treasure the most as he remembers his best friend.
I loved him a lot because he was a special friend to me, because he's there in my heart still. I'll always be his best mate and I'll never change, because he's the champion of the world and he'll always be that.
James, the lucky mascot, speaking to Mike.
Yeah, and you could see just how much they meant to each other, couldn't you? And obviously today, that report pretty much sums up Ricky Hatton, doesn't it?
That was Ricky in a nutshell. I can't think of a more appropriate way to conclude the day, to be honest, than with that report. Ricky's daughter Fern said as part of her incredible eulogy in the cathedral today that the thing she admired most about her dad was he helped people who felt unseen to be known. And that's what would have happened in his gym 25 years ago with James. This little boy walked in with a serious illness. James lost his mum at a very young age. And Ricky put his arm around him and said, you know what, you're going to be my mate and I'm going to take you on this adventure with me. And he did that with everybody. The people of Hyde and Hattersley and Manchester and the northwest of England and beyond, and ourselves in the media as well. He wanted everyone to come on this ride with him. And when he said, I'm going to fight in Las Vegas, why don't you all come? 30,000 people flew to Las Vegas to be with him. The vast majority had no chance of getting a ticket for these fights. They just wanted to be there. And Ricky just wanted them to be there. He was a unique sports star who craved that contact with his people. I can't imagine there's ever been a more selfied celebrity ever than Ricky Hatton. He never said no to a photograph. He never said no to an autograph. He really was unique.
Mike, you at the service earlier on today. It's been the most emotional of days, hasn't it?
Yeah, very sad day, very surreal day. I don't think anybody in the cathedral or on the route or watching at home yet has fully processed what has happened. It's hard to believe that Ricky Hatton, this larger-than-life character, isn't around anymore. He's gone at such a young age of 46. He's been this ever-present in Northwest life, hasn't he, for 25 years now. It was a really moving service. The eulogies by his three children were so powerful. They showed the same bravery that their dad showed in the boxing ring, didn't they, today? We heard Millie, his 13-year-old daughter, describing him as the funniest person she'd ever met. Fern remembering those trips bowling and playing mini golf in Tenerife. There should have been so many more memories still to come for these children. And Ricky's son Campbell, who was devastated in that cathedral today, and yet still a chip off the old block, trying to get a bit of a giggle from the audience by reminding them that it used to annoy his dad that he made him a granddad at the age of 39. So yeah, the children did him proud today, as did the whole city.
And how will he be remembered, Mike?
Well, first and foremost, he will be remembered as a brilliant boxer, because he was a fantastic boxer. Ricky always used to say he wasn't Britain's best boxer, but I think it is safe to say he was Britain's greatest boxer. You hear people talk about stars who transcend sport. That expression was invented for Ricky Hatton. There'll be so many people tonight watching at home who have zero interest in boxing, but they knew Ricky Hatton. They liked Ricky Hatton. He was this Jack the Lad, you know, this larger-than-life character who made people smile. And even today, on his final journey, he still made people smile with that three-wheeler, didn't he? I mean, how incredible was that? Ricky always used to say to me that the day we went filming for Granada Reports, around Hyde in that three-wheeler was one of his favourite days. It was one of my favourite days too. The looks we got off people, the car kept breaking down, there was smoke billowing in through the dashboard. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. He still had the piece saved on his Sky Q box. He was a one-off, and years ago he promised he would never get too big for his boots, and he never did, and that's why people loved him.
Wonderful memories to cherish, and Mike, many thanks indeed. And that is where we end our programme this evening after the most extraordinary, emotional day here in Manchester, a day when thousands of people lined the streets to say goodbye to a true local hero.
Well, Ricky Hatton was the cheeky chappie from the council estate in Hyde who became a global star and a national treasure. He was never in any doubt about how much he was loved here in his home city, and the people of Manchester did him proud today. Good night.
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly lately. Richard Hatton! In the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone. Maybe I just want to fly, want to live but don't want to die. Maybe I just want to breathe.
That's what I've come to see. That's what I've come to see.
Mr. Richard Hatton for services to boxing.
What you see, what you get. There's never airs, no graces with me. I'd like to think people would remember yourself. Ricky, yeah, he was a world champion, yeah, but he was one of us.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, grey skies on a poignant day today. Something a little bit brighter on the way this weekend. Certainly very different from last weekend, dominated then by Storm Amy. This weekend, all settled and quiet due to high pressure, and not just around this weekend, it will be throughout the week ahead as well. Now, cloud will come back next week, though this weekend I'm hopeful that it will thin and break to allow a few bright or sunny spells to come through at times. And there may just be a few clear spells developing over the next few hours, so not wall-to-wall cloud through the night. Where you are clear, there could be some mist and fog developing, and temperatures may drop down towards mid-single figures. Where you stay cloudy, you'll be closer to around 9 or 10 degrees and just a very, very light wind. Sunrise in the morning at 7:30, sunset just before 6:30 in the evening. So we start the day tomorrow, again I think with a lot of cloud around, maybe the odd mist and fog patch, but it does overall look a bit brighter. Still a feed of cloud coming down through parts of Merseyside into Cheshire, looking a bit brighter on the Isle of Man. I think the best of any sunshine will be into Lancashire, and temperatures around 14-15 degrees, pretty similar to where they've been. But then again, if you're in the sunshine, of course that's going to make a difference and help it feel warmer. There's probably a greater chance of seeing some mist and fog around as we start the day on Sunday, and more likely to see some sunny spells on Sunday more widely as well. It may feel just a touch warmer as well, so 15, maybe 16 degrees Celsius. If you get to see any sunshine this weekend, do make the most of it, because although the high pressure is sticking around, it'll be mainly dry and settled. More cloud in the forecast next week.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.